Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Hearthstone live stream slash whatever we are doing. Let's reset my timer here. And look at the chat. Loki is on the chat asking me questions, which is great. I'm grateful to have chat questions again. We have some things we need to do, beat some minions, play some minions that cost 2 or less, and play some druid class cards, which puts us right to just playing as a druid, because I really don't have a second druid setup. Yeah, so just playing rank play on this druid until we're done. Loki says more memory and video processing power is less than CPU power for most gamers. The thing about improving a PC is you want everything to be kind of balanced. The one thing you can improve on a PC's performance is to go from a hard drive to an SSD. Almost certainly, if you have a regular hard drive and go to an SSD, you are going to see significantly reduced loading times and improvement in performance all over the place, because that's where your first bottleneck is going to be. If you have an extremely low CPU and an extremely high GPU, then yes, your CPU will be the problem. If you have extremely slow RAM, but extremely high GPU and CPU, then that would be a problem. It's kind of hard to have that as a case, though, because I don't have any like XMP RAM apparently in my computer right now, so I have like DDR4 2400 megahertz RAM, and I've never really noticed a significant problem with that. In fact, I'm anxiously awaiting for them to introduce DDR5 that will just have a much higher default speed, because DDR4 has not had a improvement on the standards for a while. Instead, it's just allowed for the Intel XMP profiles where the RAM can either run at the standard 2400 megahertz, or it can be overclocked up to like 32 or 3600 megahertz. With DDR5, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 36 to even 4000 megahertz minimum. Plus, with Intel's 3D RAM technologies, there's a few new technologies out there for different types of RAM. We may find that a DDR5 standard for the next generation of PC serves really fast. As for my current PC, the only thing I think I would really like to upgrade is the video card. And then after upgrading the video card, I would feel it's just necessary to buy a completely new PC with everything. So I might go from my 6-core i7 that I have now to a 4-core i7 that's several hundred megahertz faster. For a while there, CPUs seemed like they were going to maximize on their gigahertz. That they were saying that a CPU would never be able to break 4 gigahertz because it's just a matter of heat and it was a matter of heat and the amount of circuits, transistors you could squeeze into a certain area. It was starting to look like we may just jump directly to quantum or atomic computers instead of working our way down to the 14 nanometer or 10 nanometer space size for creating for creating CPUs, but somehow they've been able to break that barrier, and so all my equipment could be upgraded by now. It didn't stay new very long, or top of the line very long. But my main issue is I would like to go from the GTX 970 that I have now to either a 1080, so both one up in generation and one up in class, or higher. So there's, depending on how much money I have to spend on it, I could go to a 1080, I could go to a Titan, and I could go to a Titan X. And there's a few versions of the Titans and the Titan X's, so you kind of have to be careful that it's the new Titan and the new Titan X that are on the Pascal levels. But none of that has anything really to do too much with video games other than building PCs, which I'm sure a lot of people don't always want to talk about. I have a lot of news here. EVE Online's latest war is being fought over anime. So there was a ban on a group's Discord server. The group was called Waffles, and of anime. That apparently on Discord you can post GIFs, and a lot of the people were posting GIFs of anime characters, and somebody didn't like it, so they banned it, and then somebody used that to their advantage, and somebody in power decided to say, well, if you kill this one guy 10 times, I'll ban anime forever, and if you kill this other guy 20 times and bring me his corpse in this EVE Online game, I'll lift the ban. And so it's created these two factions called Team 10 and Team 20. The one team looking for the 10 kills, one looking for the Team 20 kills, and it started this huge war. I suppose inherently the point of this game is to have wars, so it's not surprising that this has happened. It's just kind of a silly story to tell. Paladins is now free to play on PS4 and Xbox One. So Paladins, it was the free to play PC version of sort of a rip-off of Overwatch, but a little bit different. And now it's free to play on the consoles, which is an interesting concept, because I certainly can remember when consoles did not do free to play at all. Oh, I just scrolled down on my things. Oops. So Loki's been commenting here, and I haven't seen him because apparently the chat wasn't scrolling. I must have bumped it. Let's see. Oops, I meant greater than, not less than, on his comment that memory and video processing is greater. He meant to say greater than CPU. Mostly true, yeah. Unless you're playing very specific games. You don't want to go too expensive on anything. You want to keep it balanced. And then Loki says, yes, SSDs are way faster. Your main bottleneck is motherboard main bus speed, then HD, GPU, CPU, and VRAM and standard RAM. Yep. The main bus speed, the Northbridge speed, stuff like that. A lot of numbers that I would love to see all of them majorly increase. That's where the M2 standard came about, was that we needed something faster than the PCI Express 16 slots that you plug a video card into, and those video card slots have been around for a long time, and they need to readapt those ideas in general to faster, quicker things. Mine is at 3.6 ATM, but it can be overclocked to 4.1 tops if I upgrade the cooling system. I'm not sure how fast I have my thing. I determined that it wasn't the ideal thing to overclock my PC, because in overclocking it, it made more noise, which gets on the microphone and gets recorded, and so it didn't seem like it was necessary either. Even when I play The Witcher 3, which is like the most recent taxing video game I've played probably, I was mostly able to play the entire game on Ultra. There was only 1 second where we started to see a little bit of lag. A big portion of that is because I'm only going up to 1080p. If I was trying to do 4K, that's when I think I'd start to overclock things, and I'm still not sure that that would be necessary to do for overclocking the CPU as much as overclocking the GPUs. Let's see. Caltech, I haven't heard of that company, has 6 gigahertz, 8 or 12 core CPU with liquid nitro core cooling. Yeah, that's beyond the realm of realistic, though, for most people. I don't want my PC to become so overpowered that I'm not getting a realistic experience. The last thing I need to be as a video game reviewer is unable to notice when a game is running poorly, and games should be able to run on just basic configurations of a PC by standard, in not highly overclocked games. And the sad thing is that really old games that you are effectively running overclocked, like something that was supposed to run for Windows 2000, should be so smooth and run so well by modern technology, because it's just so much faster. You'd think you'd be able to power through that, and that almost never is the case. Instead, it's the exact opposite. Old games don't work at all half the time. Let's see this. There's a new PSU certification for noise and efficiency. That's kind of a nice thing too. I don't know if people are going to actually adopt the certifications or use them or promote them, but it's taking in the new certifications versus the 80% efficiency, 83% efficiency that we have now, are going to take into calculation different loads instead of just the peak load usage. So a CPU not CPU, a PSU, a power supply unit, could say it's at 80% efficiency at peak load, but it might be horribly inefficient at half load or a small amount of load. So it might be incredibly inefficient as you're just having your computer asleep. You might put your computer asleep and find that it's not even a good idea. So if those certifications get adopted, that'd be crazy. Let's make sure I'm scrolling down. Nope. Man, why is my scrolling not working on live chat anymore? North South Bridge. Have you tried GTA 5 on PC? That should be a little more taxing. I don't even own GTA 5. I haven't gotten around to buying any of those games yet, and there's kind of an issue with that game that puts it lower on my list. Everybody kind of knows what GTA is about, so I'm only really reviewing it for my own personal reason, and I would just go through the story and that would be it. So I will probably get around to it, but I think I already own like Saints Row, and so I'd probably want to play some of the Saints Row game. I know I have Bully, which is not as equivalent to GTA 5, but there's a lot of games I already have purchased. GTA 5 doesn't go on sale that often, is part of the reason why I don't own it too. If there's a GTA 6 that's announced, that would potentially be when I might jump in.
Berries, my favorite.
There we go. Let's do this. Do this. Am I gonna lose? I'm not sure. See, it's on Steam. Yeah, I know GTA 5 is on Steam. I'll get it eventually. It's just I'm probably in this summer sale. That might be a good time. So, if you want a little back look into how I schedule things, if I'm saying I'll potentially buy GTA 5 in the summer sale in several months, I probably won't get to it until at least several months into 2018 if I even buy it on the summer sale, if not further into it. The Skyrim remaster is a good example of a factor that would motivate me to play a game like that faster. So if they came out with a remastered, upgraded version of GTA 5, which is nothing crazy that they might do, then I would have a reason to play it a little bit faster. But mostly that's really low at the bottom of the list. Something that I certainly might do, but I might also just wait till the next one. I'm not super appealed by the storyline of GTA. Anyways, let's go ahead and kill this guy. But now that I know Loki wants to see me play the story, that is a slight consideration. The next thing we have is Remedy has signed an $8.45 million publishing deal with 505 Games. They're probably making an Alan Wake or Quantum Break 2 or some kind of similar games. Remedy Games only kind of makes one style of game in their mind, so that they're working on something. Now, Quantum Break was kind of a huge failure, so I don't know why they'd make a Quantum Break 2, but that's never stopped video game creators before. Switch worldwide has sold $2.74 million worth of sales, whereas in comparison, the Zelda Breath of the Wild game has sold 3.84 million sales. Some of that is because of Breath of the Wild being on the Wii U, but it is pretty much that in the same time period, it seems they have here we go. Draw 3 cards now. So all of these are 0. Adapt. Wind Fury. Taunt. I think I've got a victory here. So, yeah, more people bought Zelda Breath of the Wild than bought the Switch in the same amount of time. Also, while we're talking shipments, Nier Automata has shipped over 500,000 units. So in comparison, it's hard to compare because one was how much did you make in sales versus how much you sold. If you multiply 500,000 times a $60 price tag, then you get 3 million in sales as far as how many games shipped of Nier Automata. So Zelda Breath of the Wild got almost, well, 0.8 for 840,000 more dollars than Nier Automata, assuming Nier Automata sold and shipped for $60, which I'm not certain that's actually the case. I should have looked up that number. So that's very close, considering one is a Nintendo Classic being revived and the other is let's see, store 6 health. Kill this guy. There we go. Riven, the sequel to Myst, was released on Android. I kind of wish that meant we had a higher chance of getting Myst 3 on PC or something, but it really doesn't.
Hey pal, Trade Prince Gallowix here.
So I'm scrolling now on the chat and I don't see any posts from Loki at the moment, so okay. Resident Evil 7, by the way, in comparison to Zelda's Breath of the Wild, had worldwide sales of 3.5 million. So Zelda only sold a little bit more than Resident Evil 7, which only sold about 1/4 as more than Nier Automata. So all three of those games sold exceedingly well, and it's an interesting number to have in the back of your head to see that 3 million is the target for a successful game now. I've got some information about Desert Bus, which is a game that was snuck into Penn and Teller's Smoke and Mirrors game that I think was on the PS1. And Desert Bus is a joke game that was designed as a political art piece against a congresswoman a long time saying that video games shouldn't be so violent, basically. And so they decided to make a game that was completely not violent by being incredibly boring, in which you just drive a desert bus from Reno to Vegas. Why am I having a bugging mouse? So is it flickering? I suspect that is because of the Hearthstone deck tracker overlay. Maybe I can see if there's something else wrong with it. Let's see. If I just ignore my gameplay and come over here and see. Properties. Capture mouse cursor. Let's see.
What to do?
If I change that and leave that. Well, actually, I think I can turn them both off and let's see. Is the mouse... Did that fix it?
What to do?
Let me know. And that's from a new guy. So now we've got 2 commenters, and that's great. I've noticed the flashing mouse before. I've just not gotten around to figuring out how to fix it. It doesn't seem like it's an issue that shows up on any of my other games, but then the other games I'm covering doesn't have the Hearthstone deck tracker overlay running over it. So I don't see the flashing mouse, and this is one of the issues that is a constant issue as a streamer slash recorder of video games, is the issue of things sounding or looking different to me than they do the people who are watching it. See, so I see a fully solid mouse right now. Hopefully it's not
Don't worry,
flipping.
loves. The cavalry's here.
One of my sadly most popular videos that is only going to continuously get more views because people keep commenting is Kerbal Space Program. I highly recommend you don't watch it because it had some very unbalanced audio and people constantly watch it and then they say turn down the music and they don't read the comments to say, see, like I have a pinned comment saying, look, I know the audio's bad, I did my best to fix it. It sounds really awful and there's really nothing I can do. I can either delete the video and lose the views and have less people come to my channel, or I can just leave it and hope people will be forgiving enough to maybe check out another video. As YouTube works, even the fact that you've seen one of my videos increases the chance that some of my other videos might get suggested to it. So if YouTube allowed me to put a different video up and keep the views and keep the recommendations, that would be great, and I would do that in a second. It's just that's not something YouTube allows. And for a reason. Certainly YouTube wouldn't want people bait and switching videos, although YouTube has done it for their own videos. But they certainly won't allow normal people like me. In fact, there's another YouTube setting that they're allowing, I think, the Nostalgia Critic to use and beta test that I would really love. So if you go to the Nostalgia Critic's YouTube channel, he reviews movies. He has episodic playlists that when you look at the title, it says Nostalgia Critic season, or just S10 : episode 1 or 2 or whatever. And when you click on the Nostalgia Critic, it takes you to a specific playlist for that season. And there's some extra linking abilities there that other people don't have. And it's unfair that these people, when they beta test features for YouTube, often get these extra abilities that I don't, normal people don't get, but it happens. And that's particularly one thing I'd love to do is have, for instance, Hearthstone, when I put out the recorded versions of this Hearthstone stream, is up to 600 episodes. If I could get all of that to be better recognized by YouTube as one long stream, so when somebody's done watching episode 599, it suggests episode 600. That'd be very helpful, because right now all it does is it just suggests some random Hearthstone episode. So the only way you can really watch them all in order, I don't know why anybody would want to do that, is to go to the playlist and just watch the playlist in order that way. Which requires me to maintain the playlist and for Hearthstone in particular, and make sure that that is in order. Which I don't think all of my playlists are 100% in order. Just to be honest, if people find mistakes on my playlist and such, or on videos, I'd love if they leave comments or feedback there, but I understand why a lot of people wouldn't notice it too. There's probably all kinds of things, and then there's certain things that I can't change because it would be too much effort. Honestly, like my older videos had, I would put HD 1080p 60 frames per second at the end, according to YouTube, that's not how you should do it. You should have the episode number at the very end. And so I've stopped doing that. I don't know if that's really helped my channel any, but I'm following the rules that YouTube's telling me to do, and who knows if that's the right thing to do or not, because if half the people that get big on YouTube do it by manipulating YouTube and not following the rules. Alright, so we are making good progress. The only thing we really haven't done is we need to play 2 cost minions, which we can do by playing a Murloc deck, and we need to play 6 more Druid Mastery cards. Alright, so if you're watching live, stay on the stream. Otherwise, if you're watching this recorded, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.